From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spire on the radio.
Hello to Misty Lemmond. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today, Ruben?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for letting me chat to you today. Can you tell me how long have you been playing the piano for? Or been a composer for?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
How long have you been being a pianist and a composer for?
Oh gosh, I have been playing the piano. This will give my age away just a little bit. For about 23 years since I was a little girl.
So what first started you playing the piano?
My 9th birthday, my mother surprised me with the gift of piano lessons. I remember she took me down to the local mall and took me into this piano store. And she said, Sissy, because that's what my mom calls me. She said, Sissy, she said, for your birthday, I have bought piano lessons for you. And she introduced me to my piano teacher, Miss Janice Hall. And I remember when I first met, my piano teacher, that thinking she looked like an angel. She was just like, I instantly liked her. And I thought this might be a good experience. So I started learning piano from her at age 9. And then about a year later, I went through that rough phase that all pianists go through in the very beginning, where I wanted to quit. My mom and dad were like, no, there's no quitting here. You're going to push through this. And so out of my anger, I got so frustrated that I sat down and I created this song, this melody on the keys. It sounded, oh gosh, it sounded to me like something Beethoven would have come up with. And it was just angry and all these things. And my mom came through and she was like, what are you playing? And I told her, I said, I just made this up because I'm angry. You won't let me quit. So from then on out, I never, once I realized that I could make my own music, I never stopped. So that was about 23 years ago. So good times.
So can you tell me more about the debut album called Sound of the Feelings?
The Sound of Feelings?
Yeah.
Yes, that's my debut album. It was released 2 years ago. That album, I wanted to focus on showing how music can have the sounds that speak to people, that our feelings have a voice, that our feelings, they have a sound, and that sometimes words cannot articulate what a person may be feeling in the moment, but music can articulate that. And that was my goal with that album, was to articulate what sometimes words cannot speak on our behalf, but emotion can sometimes go beyond words and could go into the realm of sound and can speak to someone, that it, you may have heard this phrase before, that music is often the universal language. And The Sound of Feelings, that album, I wanted to make it clear that music is indeed the universal language. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, that all of us can understand music. All of us can understand sounds and what a certain sound can mean for a certain emotion, if that makes sense.
It does. So can you tell me more about the album released in May?
About which? I'm sorry.
The album that released in May.
Oh, yes, The Wilderness Years. I was so excited with this album. When I sat down to write the music, for The Wilderness Years, Each song it tells a story. At the beginning, the first track, it talks about, I talk as if my music has words, but this sounds, it takes you through a journey where, you're entering the wilderness and, it's kind of ominous. You don't know what to expect. And from the first track of that song all the way down to the end, it tells a story about how you go through difficult times in life. You have your ups and your downs. And I just wanted to take my listeners on a journey with, the trials of life, like so many people try to hide their darkest moments. When really others could benefit from knowing, okay, how did you get through this dark time? And there's beauty that can come from that. So, I just really enjoyed being able to articulate those emotions. I think there was one song on that album called The Puppet Dance. And the puppet dance, when I composed that piece, I mean, it sounds funny at first, the puppet dance. But it really has to do with other people, controlling certain aspects of your life. And it takes you, down a road of realizing, okay, I need to step up to the plate. And the whole song is about just, you can hear the struggle up and down of, this puppet, just struggling and being told what to do and things like that. And they're trying to find freedom. And I really enjoyed writing the music, and how, even though it doesn't have lyrics, there's a deepness to it. I think, there was another song on there also called Ghostly Carnival. And it's kind of like the same concept. It's, that song it starts off sounding really dark, and then the tones are really fast in the beginning. It shows, okay, here's a carnival, but why is it called Ghostly Carnival? Because in my mind, and I don't know if listeners, pick up on this. This is what I take from it. But you look at things that went on in your life, and then they're the things of the past. And, it's kind of like reminiscing on things of the past, so to speak. But even though that's what I take from my music on that album, it doesn't mean that, this listener over here has to take the same thing from it. But, it's like, use your imagination and make out of it what you want for you. But here's the music, here's the sounds. Let it relate to you in the way that, you want it to relate to you, if that makes sense.
So can you tell me more about your new album that's coming out on the 3rd of November, Christmas at the Piano?
Yes, Christmas at the Piano. I am finishing it up in the studio tomorrow. This album, it will feature basic Christmas hymns that I have arranged myself, and I've put my own, touch to it. I'm excited about it. I want it to stand out differently from other Christmas hymns. I don't want people to listen to it and then they hear, oh, here's just the basic joy to the world. No, joy to the world is supposed to be majestic. Angels we have heard on high is supposed to be majestic. And I want to make that music sound majestic. I want it to grab your attention. I want it to speak with you. And as we live through the holidays, pull at those heartstrings, and I feel like as I'm developing my sound, I've definitely put my sound into these arrangements. In other words, you can listen to, Joy to the World, and you'll hear it's joy to the world, but you will know it's Misty's Joy to the World. You know, I don't want to sound like everybody else, because what would be the point in buying a Christmas album where it just sounds like everything else? I want to stand out and be different. So that's what I'm most excited about with my Christmas album is, yes, it's the Christmas hymns that we're used to hearing every season, but it's going to stand out. It's going to be majestic. It's going to be different. And I hope that my listeners just really, really enjoy the spin that I've put on these hymns.
So, will it be writing the music?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've already written two new songs for my third studio album. So that album, this will be my second album to release this year. So we're probably looking next May for my third studio album. And again, that all depends on how I'm in the composition phase right now. It all depends on how, that process goes. But what I do have in the works for the moment is my third studio album, which it's unnamed. So I don't know yet what it's going to be named, but I do have a theme. And because The Wilderness Years was a darker themed album, this third album is going to have a love theme to it. I thought, let me bring something in a little bit lighter, a little bit sweeter, something that, my listeners can play in the background. If they're having a nice romantic date with their significant other, with their partner, So yeah, it will be themed on love, and it is in the works, and be looking for it around spring 2024.
Valentine's Day? Probably too soon.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Get it all done between now and then.
Yeah, Valentine's Day is not a bad idea. But this is what, October? See. We'll have to see how the composition process goes.
There you go. I put it into your head now, haven't I?
Pardon?
So I put the Valentine's Day for release date into your head now.
Yes, you have. And the pressure's on. It's like, oh, that's a good idea. I didn't even realize that that could be a possibility. But yeah, I do have 2 songs already composed, and that's been a struggle when you're having to come up with a Christmas album and you're having, to rehearse a lot of Christmas music, but you have 2 new songs you've composed in the process, for your next studio album. And you're trying not to forget those 2 songs in the middle of all the Christmas music. But it's a blessing. I'm not complaining. It's just part of the struggle for being an artist. You have to keep up with all these things.
So can you tell me, how's it being an independent artist for you?
Do you mind repeating that? You cut out on me.
You're an independent artist, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So can you tell me, how is it independent artist for you in the world that we live in?
Who is what? I'm sorry.
As an independent artist, how do you feel being an independent artist is for you?
How do I feel being an independent artist?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, my audio. I'm loving it so far. If I were to get an offer for someone to come and represent me, obviously I would consider that. But I love that I'm able to just, figure things out for myself. The creativity is endless, as an independent artist. The only downfall would be the marketing aspect of it. I have a college degree in marketing, and I'm still terrible at marketing myself. But otherwise, I love being an independent artist. I have people who love my music, and I just, as long as there is desire to hear more of my music, I will keep creating music. And well, quite honestly, even if there wasn't a desire for people to want my music, I would still create music because that's just what I do. but yeah, it's wonderful.
Yes, being an independent artist, you can plot your own career.
Yes. Being an artist, it's an outlet for me to be able to express myself. You know, that creativity, I have to have an outlet to be able to put my ideas to. And, you know, for me, music is my medium. That's where I express, you know, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions. And it actually helps relieve stress. It helps celebrate, you know, wonderful things. So I enjoy being an artist. It's what I do. I love it.
So, where can my listeners find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook. I'm listed as Misty Lemmond, pianist and composer. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm on there as Misty Lemmond, and I believe it's at the Misty Brook. I have folks that keep telling me I really need to get on TikTok, and I've really been trying to push that to the side, but that's probably going to be happening soon. So I do have an Instagram, but ignore that because I'm not that much into the Instagram. I do have YouTube. You can find me as Misty Lemmond on YouTube, and I'm working on trying to cultivate that channel a little more. But my two main social media handles are Facebook and Twitter. That's where I have, you know, most of my interactions with my fans.
Thank you for chatting to me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And I wish you all the success.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.